One of the greatest books about Atlantis is from Ignatius Donnelly, named Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. I will mostly summarize his views with my other notes. According to Plato, Atlantis was ruled over by god-men, the descendants of the sea god Poseidon, and a mortal woman, Cleito. It was for her and their family together that Poseidon literally sculpted the island from clay, dividing it up into 10 portions, each given to one of their 10 sons, 5 pairs of twins, to rule over. Donnelly claimed that the kings of Atlantis are the same as the Titans, and the fall of the Titans the same as the fall of Atlantis. This, he asserts, is one and the same as the biblical deluge, as well as the fall man from the Garden of Eden, the golden age of the gods. Donnelly identified the Titans with the Atlantean kings. In both stories, the mighty kings of a magnificent empire are crushed by Zeus, who ignites a cataclysmic, earth-shaking war. The Titans were sent down to the center of the earth, the Atlanteans sank down to the bottom of the ocean. Atlas, the foremost king, and namesake of Atlantis, was a Titan. Poseidon was the same or similar figure as Ouranos. Poseidon is the patron deity of navigators, while Ouranos was credited as being the inventor of the mariner's compass. Ouranos, or Ouranos, has been identified with Dagon, also called Donos, and Poseidon was also called Poseidon. In another legend, Poseidon fathered a race called the Tritons, who were described as fishmen, and who some think are the same as the Titans. However, it is Kronos who seems to be remembered as the great, and later fallen, king of Atlantis. It was also quite literally believed by historians at one time that after he was deposed from the throne of Atlantis, rather than being imprisoned in the center of the earth, or dying in a flood, Kronos simply moved to Italy, then inhabited by primitive folk, and spread the Atlantean civilization to them, initiating a golden age there. Donnelly connects Saturn's golden age to the ancient pagan festival of Saturnalia, which begins more or less around the same time as the winter solstice, Christmas. The Roman Saturnalia was a remembrance of the Atlantean colonization. It was a period of joy and festivity, master and slave met as equals, the distinctions of poverty and wealth were forgotten, no punishments for crime were inflicted, servants and slaves went about dressed in the clothes of their masters, and children received presents from their parents or relatives. It was a time of jollity and mirth, a recollection of the Golden Age. We find a reminiscence of it in the Roman Carnival. Many similar versions of this story have been told about other gods worshipped throughout the ancient world. For instance, there is the story from Hindu culture of the god Vishnu, who took the form of a fish, and warned a figure named Manu about an impending flood. Historians have long agreed that the city of Ur is most likely the original source of Sumerian civilization, and thus, of the civilizations that followed. The prefix Ur even means primeval in German. According to authors such as Donnelly and L.A. Waddell, this city was begun by the same colonizing race of god-kings Atlanteans. Their race was known as the or ear, and the Sumerian pictograph denoting this syllable is none other than the pentagram, also called the plough sign by Sumerians, to whom the word had a number of translations. The prefix hour means light in many languages, and so it is interesting that these people were called Shining Ones. Donnelly and Waddell claim that they are none other than the Aryans. The name of the nation Iran, as well as the name of Mount Ararat, comes from this. It should not be surprising then that the pentagram is referred to in modern occult texts as the sign of the Aryan race. One of the titles of these god-kings were Kod, Gad, or Kart. It means king of the world, and was written in Sumerian pictographs as a double-barred cross, just like the cross of Lorraine associated with the Angevin kings of France, descendants of the Merovingians. The seafaring navigators of Phoenicia were also known as Cads. Even the word God is said to be rooted in this word. The words Akkad and Ar may have been the roots of the Greek word Arcadia, the name of a region in Greece which housed, according to Greek myths, an idyllic paradise ruled over by the Greek gods. For this reason, The word Arcadia has been a code word among occultists for centuries, denoting the golden age of the long-distant past, when, occultists believe, the gods ruled kingdoms on earth. The gods who ruled Arcadia were depicted in Greek myths as shepherds. It is interesting, then, that the god-kings were often known under titles denoting them as shepherds of the people. Poussin's painting, The Shepherds of Arcadia, definitely alludes to many hidden secrets. In the painting we can read "Et in Arcadia ego" is a Latin phrase meaning "even in Arcadia, there am I." It is saying either before everything he was there, or before the flood at Atlantis he was king.